Hi, this is Chris from Green Feathers, and today we're going to go through the setup of our solar Wi-Fi camera. Now, if you've seen the previous video, we've unboxed it already. So I've got the solar camera, the bracket, the camera, and all the cables out here, and we're just going to go through those one by one to get them plugged together. First of all, we've got the solar camera itself, and the main features of which we've got the lens on the front here and the PIR sensor. We've also got the flashy lights, which enable you to see whether the camera is being set up correctly or not. And that happens in another video that we've done on how you set up the solar camera on the app. Underneath here, we've got the rubber grommet. And underneath the rubber grommet is the SD card slot, the on-off button, which again you'll need when you're setting up the camera on the app. We've also got the power in, the USB power in. So you can put a microcard in this for memory. And I would recommend doing that before you turn the camera on. However, if you don't have a memory card, you can also subscribe to our cloud service. We do a 7 and a 30-day service. It's all available through the app. Now, I've just done the little connector here. So there's a double rubber grommet on here. The second part of that rubber grommet just covers the input from the solar panel, or the cable that connects in, and then into the USB-C connection. So that's this lead here, with the special sort of 2-pin connector. And once you've popped that flap down, that plugs straight into the base of the camera. Now, if you're putting this in a bird box, you'll definitely need to have this connected the whole time, because it will need that top up from the camera. And at this point, I will also point out that between the camera and the solar panel, they both have batteries in, and those will give you up to a total of 86 continuous hours of footage. Now, that doesn't sound like a great deal, but when you set it up into motion detection, you'll find that will last several weeks, if not several months. If you're just getting a few triggers a day, it can last over a year. Okay, so you just got to keep a close eye on your battery levels when you're looking at the camera. So once you've plugged it in the bottom, the other thing I'll point out here, this rubber grommet, whilst it is a very good seal, if you put the camera upside down, you will get water puddling in the top there, and that will in time work its way into the camera. So whilst this is a weatherproof, water resistant camera, please always mount it so that the cable is at the bottom, especially if you've got this rubber grommet off here. Now, the second part of this is actually really simple. You've got a little cap on the cable. If I can unwind it here we go. And you just bring the cap up, that screws over to give you a nice waterproof seal. So again, that's a really nice waterproof connection. And there we've got a little tooth that goes and connects the cables together. You push them together, screw it on gently, and you've got a nice waterproof connection for your garden. Finally, we've got the solar panel itself. Now, this is really straightforward as well. If we flip the solar panel over, on the side of the solar panel, we've got the on-off switch on one side. And these rubber grommets are a bit tricky to get off, so you will just need to prise them open. But once that's to keep these things nice and waterproof so we don't get any ingress. So we turn the solar panel on, immediately that will start to charge the camera. The camera and the solar panel will ordinarily be charged up already, but we would recommend when you first get them, charging them using the 2 USB leads supplied. Okay, so there's a USB-C and a micro USB to charge the solar panel. Under the other side, the other rubber grommet is for charging the solar panel. That's what this lead's for. But when you push these in, please make sure you make a really good seal back on the solar panel, because otherwise you'll get water ingress, and that's no good for anyone, especially in our amazing UK weather, which is sunny today, which is nice, but it's not always that way. Now, to mount the bracket, this is the wall bracket that comes as standard with our pack. So this bracket for the wall camera, I'm just loosening off the screws, which enables a little bit of flexibility when you're then mounting the bracket on the back of the solar panel. It's really simple. You just use the screwdriver provided, and you can screw those in. I'm just going to do it nice and loose for now. And it's as easy as that to mount the bracket and the solar camera, okay? And obviously I've done this the wrong way around. I can't show you how to mount this on the wall, but we do have a really handy mounting sticker for mounting the bracket on the wall. Should you put the bracket on a wall at your house, stick that on first, drill your holes, and you should find that part of the bracket will screw straight on. You're also provided with some wall mounts and 4 screws to mount the solar camera should you be mounting on the side of your building. So that's those two connected together. Now they'll be charging each other. The solar panel is the main charger, so it's a little bit like the one that you have on your phone. It will always fully top up the camera first. So whilst the solar camera is charging through the day, it will be keeping this one up to 100%. If you unplug the two, the camera will start to use its own battery. And then when you plug it back in again, it will then top the camera back up. But like I say, that's only if you're using it around your garden. If you're using it in a bird box, you'll need to plug the cable in first. Okay. And finally, for this part of the presentation, we have our bracket. And again, I'm going to go through this sort of without a box in this video, but it's quite simple to mount. If you're using your own box at home, you'll need to just drill a 7mm hole or 6 or 7mm hole to get the bolt into the back. And now the bracket, you can see on here, it's got 2 teeth, and you'll mount the bracket through the back so you put the bolt through the back of the box, and the bracket then pulls against the wood, and that's what those teeth are for. It's a single mounting bolt solution. And once you've done that, that pulls the bracket really nice and tightly in place. And the camera will mount then using the little bolt provided, and there's a little rubber grommet here as well, and that just screws in the back and holds the camera pointing straight down in your box. Now what I will point out here, if you've got one of the slightly smaller boxes, so the boxes we supply with our packs are slightly bigger, slightly taller, to give you the very best images you can get, so you can get both the hole at the front of the box and the base of the box itself. But what we found with some customers, if it doesn't quite fit, if you turn the camera 90 degrees, whilst you don't get the very, very best image, you still are able to then fit everything in the box and get those nice surprises when the birds start nesting. Okay, and finally, the only other thing I want to point out about this camera, when you're using it, these are designed for fairly close range stuff. So, so animals that will be within probably a meter and a half of the camera. Beyond that, you can, some of the larger animals will trigger the camera, but because it's a heat sensitive camera that triggers when there's movement or heat in front of it, you might find that those smaller critters, maybe like hedgehogs, if they're beyond a meter and a half away, they may not be enough to trigger the camera. So just play with the distances and making sure you put the camera in the path of the wildlife if you're not using it in a nest box. In another video in a minute, we'll look at some of the other accessories you can get with our complete pack and our starter pack and our complete pack. That includes tripod, a mounting bracket for your garden, SD cards and various other things. Anyway, for now, thanks for watching. I hope that's been useful. If you have any problems with setting up your equipment, we've got tons of other videos on our website and a load of help guides. And of course, if you're still struggling after that, please get in touch with our help desk team and they'll be more than happy to help you. All the best for now. See you again soon.